So the poll question, again, even though most people are voting with us, the responses, the tweets who voted against it are angry. They're angry.
What are they angry about?
They're angry about calling this a must-win. You've called every game a must-win so far, Silvy.
Well, and I think that to support that, you would say this is haymaking time.
Yes.
You can't get to where you want to go if you don't win the games you're supposed to win. This is step one of becoming a good team, is beating the teams you're supposed to beat.
The only game that I didn't call must-win or like very important win was Houston, because that was a game that I didn't think that they should win.
Yeah.
The games that they should win if you want to make the playoffs, especially with that backloaded schedule and the division being the best division in football, bar none, and them not beating the Packers in 10 straight matchups, I think they have to win this game and go to 4-2.
Look, I think
if they have a playoff chance.
I think you can make a case that after this game, there's only one opponent on your schedule that is going to be deemed worse than Jacksonville, and that's New England. So, like, this is the fourth consecutive bottom 5 defense they will have played. This is haymaking time, because when you get back from the bye, you're going to go on the road where it's significantly better. We've just talked about it. They don't play great on the road, or they haven't yet. Maybe they'll change their own, how they play. But right now, they're not a good road team. You're going to Washington, not a great defense, but we've seen what they've done. Arizona is a Jekyll and Hyde football team that they could kick your ass one game and lay down the next. You don't know. New England's the only game that's left on this schedule currently where you would say the opponent is a lesser competitor than the one you're playing Sunday in London.
Yes, they're all coin flip games on the games that are going to be close.
So I can understand why an individual would say, hey, look, at 3-2, if we want to get to the postseason, we got to have this one, because the competition level, again, outside of the New England game is going to go up, and it's going to go up significantly when you get to the back 8.
Yeah. And I know they wouldn't be mathematically eliminated, and I know there are different ways to make it, and people have pointed out that Houston lost to Carolina around this time last year, then went on a run. I don't know if the way the Bears have been up and down, if they're capable of going on a run with the schedule that they have. So the question is, if the Bears are going to be a serious NFL playoff contender. And by that, I mean a contender to make the playoffs. I don't mean like a contender to win, but if you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. But I'm talking about a contender to make the playoffs. Is Sunday's game against the Jags a must-win? And the voting public is with us. 92.7% say yes. This is a must-win game.
And we're using getting to the postseason as our, as this is part of the equation. There's some nuance in here, people. If you plan on getting to the postseason, yes, I don't believe. Can you get there without a win from the Jags? Sure, you can. Will you get there? I think it's significantly more difficult. So you got to win this game.
And the David Snedker says, people love dramatic statements. It's week 6 of a rookie quarterback. LOL. But again, like, we're looking at it through the lens of making the postseason. Mark says, would expect them to win, but all the talk about being a serious playoff contender is still very premature with a rookie quarterback.
Totally agree. I agree with that. But if we're going to talk about this in the context of making the playoffs, this is a game you have to win.
You think you think it's premature to talk about making the postseason?
I don't believe they're a playoff team at this point.
Well, I mean, 9 or 10 gets you in that.
Okay. I'm just telling you, I don't believe, based on what I've seen them do, that at this moment, they're a playoff team. Could that change as they continue to make progress? Yes. But I don't look at them right now. Do you believe that they're a playoff team at 3-2?
I think it's a possibility, yes.
It's a possibility.
I think they could. There's still a path. Like, I downgraded them to 9. I think there's still a path to get to 10 if they continue to play better.
If their offensive line continues to play the way they did against the Carolina Panthers, then I'll jump on your bandwagon. If their offensive line plays the way they did in the first 4 games of the season, I can't get there.
See, like, if this was a 6 or 7 win team and we're talking about a playoff contender, where you have them at 9.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a game here. And when you look at the standings and you look, the Cowboys are 3-2. And then you look at the NFC South, 2 teams 3-2 battling for the postseason. The NFC West, 2 teams are 3-3 at the top of the division. A lot of these wild card teams have 500 records. So 9 or 10 should be able to get you the 7th spot this year.
10 will for sure.
Yeah.
10 will.
And then you're hoping in this division that maybe all 3 get in, or maybe the Vikings fall off, or maybe
Hopefully
the Packers have a down year this year. Maybe they fall off. So that's why I don't think it's outlandish to talk about.
I don't think it's outlandish. If I had to put my money down right now, my money would not be on them being a playoff team. I may change that bet in 2 weeks. If they go to Washington and put it on the Commanders and then go and beat the Cardinals, then of course I would change. But don't you still have some uneasiness about their offensive line?
Of course, yeah. Oh, that's why, and that this game will go a long way, because I think this is a team that we all thought would be better, the Jaguars.
Yes.
We all thought the Jaguars would take another step and that they would maybe be back in the playoff mix this year.
A week ago, people were talking about whether or not their coach was going to make the trip to London.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I think everyone collectively thought that this Jags team would be in a better place. Now, they played better 2 weeks ago against the Texans, and they won last week. So I think you're getting a better version of them outside of their travel issues, but they're not a juggernaut in any way, shape, or form.
Ryan Clark from ESPN is with you. This is him on Get Up today.
Let's go to the Bears next, RC. They'll be in London. If they beat the Jaguars, they're going to be 4-2. If I said the Bears are legit playoff contenders with a win, is that fact or fiction?
That is fiction. I mean, you look at this team, you beat Tennessee because Will Levis flips the ball out into the flat. You beat the Carolina Panthers, and you beat the Rams, who had no Puka Nacua, no Cooper Kupp. Now, what it is saying, though, is that this team is in a better place than it was last year, that what Ryan Poles has built around Caleb Williams is a soft spot for him to land and continue to grow and develop. I don't believe this makes them contenders in the NFC.
Yeah, they have probably the 3 best teams in the conference in their division. Well, Washington, but you get the point.
See, and this is just where if they get to 4-2, that's why this is so big. You go 6-5 the rest of the way.
Yeah,
6-5. So, that's not asking them to do a lot, is it? 6-5 the rest of the way in the last 11?
I need to see their offensive line play much better. Look, I still have them splitting in the division. That's with me hoping to see the progress from their offensive line.
Okay, so if you have them splitting in the division, that's 3.
Yes.
Then you've got them beating the Patriots, that's 4.
Yeah.
And then there are toss-up games between the Commanders
and I have them at 9 wins right now. 9 wins is where I have them.